meeting of the Great Neck Public Schools Board of Education. We are going to continue our meeting now with the Pledge of Allegiance. It's hard to believe that it's the near end of a school year and it's time for the summative reports from the United Parent-Teacher Council. We have many wonderful committees. Many of the board members have been on your wonderful committees over the years. We've had the opportunity to read your reports, and we're looking forward to hear your presentations. And I see Matt Jagoda is up at the mic. I just want to acknowledge Matt and Rachel as co-presidents, and thank you in advance for your presentations. Rachel, if you want to join Matt, it would be more than great. Thank you both. Welcome. We hear you, but also this is being recorded, so whatever is your preference, we hear you. Go ahead. I think Rich is coming up to help you with the mic. Me? Try again.
Thank you. I'm going to have some opening remarks, and we'll turn it over to our committees. Thank you for the kind words to start. Good evening. First, we'd like to thank the board for this opportunity. This is an annual ritual and an important one, as rituals typically are, and even more notably at this moment in time. We know that all of you understand the work that UPTC does very intimately, as many of you served on many of its committees and on its executive board. You understand the hours committed by those involved and respect the work that is done. Each year, the UPTC committees have the chance to share this great work being done cross-district by parents, administrators, teachers, and staff of the district. This work is exceptionally collaborative, meaningful, and impactful. This work takes multiple perspectives and often involves disagreement. And through consensus building and teamwork, our efforts produce wonderful outcomes. This work is critical, not just because of the outcomes, but even more important because of the inputs and the processes critical to a well-functioning community and high-performing school district. The greatness of our school district for years to come will come from innovation and true collaboration within the community. Again, parent, teacher, child, administrator, board member, faculty, staff, and everyone in the equation matters. This is a critical moment for leaders to lead. There's no place for the position of good or bad, no monopoly on dogmatic approaches. There needs to be room for nuance, and there needs to be room for discussion, focused on both the community and the individual. After all, we're here for the students, each one different and unique in their own way. This is the last report for us as co-presidents, and when we came into these roles, our primary goal was to increase communication and transparency. If we're being honest, while we believe we've moved the needle a little bit, there's so much work to be done. Again, as you all know, in November 1943, well, maybe some of us were around, some of us weren't, the United Parent-Teacher Council was established by elected delegates of the Great Neck Parent-Teacher Association. They believed that regular meetings of PTA representatives and superintendents of schools could benefit the PTAs, the school system itself, and more importantly, the children's education in the community. UPTC has served as a clearinghouse for important and useful educational ideas, body for joint PTO action, and a stimulus to local PTO and the general community. These goals today require renewed diligence and focus. We need the entire community to be united together and to continue to thrive as a public school system. We know you know how critical the decision is about the future leadership of the district, and we're confident in this board, stand by you, and look to continue the partnership with you, current and future administration, teachers, and the rest of the community to make Great Neck even greater than it is today. It has been our honor and privilege to lead this organization for the past 2 years, and we look forward to the work ahead in future years. Now to the committee updates. Thank you.
Good evening. We're going to start with budget. And then we'll go to legislative. You can do budget and safety.
Thank you all. So first of all, I'm going to thank Matt for writing most of this because evidently the budget passed, period, not accepted. I want to thank Andy and the committee. I think we had a scare a couple years ago, and I think we'll take it not given that passed by the voters. I think the biggest change today is, well, it's funny, it's like every year I get the one. But having John O'Keefe and Brian is a upgrade. I don't like the mic. Having John O'Keefe and Brian is a major upgrade for this district. And we're sad to see the superintendent leave, but I think we're in a great place, or we think we're in a great place, and I will be no longer part of the budget committee because I, quite frankly, wasn't very good at it, but thankfully I had people like Grant and Andrew and Matt and Rachel and others to fill in the gaps there, but I leave knowing that we're in a much better place because of who we've hired to be the steward of the financial leadership of this district. Now on to safety and transportation. Oj. So on safety and transportation, where unfortunately my friend to my left here is going to be stepping down, focus on some other things. Obviously, it's been an interesting year. We had an incident which took up a lot of thought and time, and again, I spoke about Bill Costoro last year, and just the little things, and everyone knows I love my anecdotes. Yesterday, I walked out of Great Neck South where I gave a scholarship, and I stopped because there was a car parked in front of a hydrant. And I said, normal Josh would have called the cops and have the car ticketed and towed. And then I said, nicer Josh would just send a picture to Bill Costoro and see what happens. And I think it was 10 minutes later that he texted me back and said, got it, figured out on camera who it was. They've already been notified and moved the car. And to me, that falls into the safety side of things, that the camera system was able to take the person parking, find out where they were in the building, and go and identify that person. And while something as innocuous as the car that probably didn't see that there was a hydrant there and was late to go watch somebody get an award, the fact that we are now in a spot where we can do that within 10 minutes is probably pretty meaningful. Especially in light of what went on. I think as a committee, we spend a lot of time talking to Bill and talking to Donovan. The transportation side of things is pretty easy. And now with that new, basically Find My Kid app that we're rolling out, it's going to make life even easier. The difficulty is, I need a bus stop because, there's a problem. So that's pretty easy on transportation. On the safety side, I think it's more difficult because, as we've talked about, the greatest gift we have is our children, and the children in the district. But I think we're light years ahead of where we were a couple of years ago, and I think we're only getting better. And then, I do want to thank Barbara and Teresa, as they're both, sunsetting out, and they've both been parts of that committee of safety meetings, and we look forward to working with the new super. I look forward to working with, my new co-chair, who I'm working on recruiting someone in particular, and a new superintendent and a new member from the board.
I just want to say that it was a pleasure to be on this committee for about 7 years. In those 7 years, we rolled out so many safety procedures for every single one of our schools, the vestibules, the windows, everything, the demarcations. So much has happened in the 7 years since I started, and I want to thank Alfredo and everybody that works so diligently to make sure that our children are safe. It was a pleasure to be on this committee with all of you, and I thank you.
Next, we're going to have legislative.
Hello, everybody. Dr. Prendergast. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We want to thank each and every one of you up on the stage, Mr. O'Keefe, Dr. Prendergast, the entire Board of Education. Thank you so much for all of your help this year. The Legislative Committee had a fantastic year. It's hard to believe that it's already over. This year we met with Assemblywoman Sility, Legislator Pillup, and Councilwoman Veronica Lurvy in the hopes of securing funds for projects and items for the Great Neck Public Schools vis-a-vis bullet aid. Some items identified by our committee and David Watson were scoreboards, tennis tables, equipment, wrestling equipment, and more. And we look forward to finding out about the progress of our legislators that they've made for our district in the coming months. I also want to thank Matt Jagoda and Rachel Dopelt as they end their term. They've done a terrific job. Thank you so much. And we will miss you, Dr. Prendergast.
Thank you, everybody. Next, we're going to do computer technology. Unfortunately, Pargol could not make it tonight. She's sick, so I'm going to share the update on her behalf. So the committee goals for this year include screen guide. The committee reviewed the resources available for parents to manage their child's GNPS issued iPad at home. Parents now have the screen guide app available to them that allows them to set up restrictions. The committee is hopeful that this tool will be helpful to parents in managing their child's technology use at home. Second goal, keyboarding literacy. The committee remains dedicated to ensuring that students are receiving effective instruction in keyboarding. The elementary schools have begun rolling out wireless Bluetooth keyboards to support keyboard instruction. In addition, elementary schools will be switching from using Typing Club to Keyboard Without Tears. Remember writing without tears? Now it's Keyboard Without Tears. As their platform for teaching keyboarding. This year, the middle schools began to incorporate explicit keyboarding instruction during flex and computer classes. Recently, we did computer-based testing. So this year, the district administered computer-based testing for the MIS, ELA, and math assessments for the first time. This initial rollout was in grades 4 and 7 in anticipation of the state requiring computer-based exams in 5 and 8 next year. The committee's work around keyboarding literacy in prior years was a real benefit to our students as they took the assessments on their iPads. After the exam, students completed a survey with feedback on their experience, and the committee will review survey responses and identify ways to better support students and parents as the remaining grades begin to take these assessments digitally. And next week, we have the Mark Epstein Recognition in Technological Excellence for the Betterment of the Community. This committee established this award and will honor one junior from each of our high schools. These students have demonstrated not only technological savvy, but also the empathy and passion for improving the Great Neck community that were trademarks of Mr. Epstein's wonderful career in our district. And the committee is excited to report that we are getting to honor our third recipients of this award next week on June 7th. Next, I'm also going to share the Educational Enhancement and STEAM Committee year-end report. Committee chairs Tina Koo and Nadia Sutter. So The dialogue between the Educational Enhancement and STEAM Committee and administrators continues to be very positive and action-oriented. The topics that we focused on with the greatest impact across the district for this year: computer portal usability. Suggestions were made to include running average and introducing the app to parents. The STEAM Committee met with the District Technology Director, Dr. Lander, who addressed the requests. The running average was launched in the third quarter, and the app was launched to parents. Seek Enrichment Program Transparency, working with Ms. Newman. And the STEAM Committee and administrators are in process of finalizing language to be published on the GNPS website, which will provide comprehensive details of the SEEK modules offered and the criteria for student selection. Number 3, Math Pathway and Bridge the Gap. Administrators indicated they are working with the math department chairs to have the district revisit double acceleration in 7th grade, which was eliminated 10 to 15 years ago based on dated factors to reassess whether current students may benefit from accessibility to algebra in 7th grade. Additionally, administrators indicated they are working with the math department chairs to ensure adequate coverage of trigonometry for students taking the SAT. Lastly, educational consistency. The concern was addressed in 2 parts. One was over teaching practice, and the other was over variation in curriculum in the same subject classrooms. We brought suggestions made by our parent members of extra possible steps to increase uniformity of curriculum. This suggestion includes a syllabus for each classroom and a unified practice for all classrooms to use Google Calendar. STEAM Committee may elect to continue coverage of this topic next year with suggested prototypes for each. So thank you for all committee members for the STEAM Committee. Next, we're going to do health. Harriet?
I'm just going to bring the mic down, obviously. Good evening, and thank you for the board to allow us to present tonight. I'm going to present on the UPTC Health Committee. We had a very active year. We held a meeting in November where we established our goals and set our workshop dates. We decided to focus our winter workshop on vaping. We did a workshop in conjunction with our partnership with Northwell, and we held it on a webinar format online, which allowed us to record it and send out the link later on so additional people got to see it, even if they were not able to attend it at the first time. And we also promoted it on social media. In the spring, another goal that we had identified in in our November meeting was to do a workshop on something called e-mobility devices, or otherwise, as we know it, e-bikes and e-scooters. And we noticed that those were issues pretty prevalent at the north side high schools. A lot of kids were using them, and we've seen a lot of people in town using them. So again, we partnered with Northwell, and we had 3 experts, again, doing a webinar, and we had recordings of it, and they're finishing it up, and we're going to have the video link up shortly so that our community, the greater community, can get the information. For example, some of the things that we learned was that anyone under 14 had to wear a helmet, and we didn't know that. We learned about helmet rules of the roads, and how it is important to all our communities our community members to follow the rules. We're exploring several topics for next year. Possibilities that we're talking about right now is Narcan training for the community. The town has been doing a lot of training, but we have not done one as a district yet. So we are looking into providing that for our parents. We're also looking at exploring other mental health topics and healthy habits that we can bring in for our workshops next school year. Thank you.
Next up, we have recreation with Scott.
sorry for being late. I was just at a soccer tryout, so my younger one was doing a soccer tryout. So, yeah. So the biggest thing this year for the rec committee had to do with a lot of the capital projects. We had a lot of conversations with school administration, with David Watson, with the athletic directors at each school. We also spoke to Colleen Bauer, who's the social media coordinator for the schools. We spoke to Mitch Hearn. I could go on the list. We spoke to a lot of the PTO people, to the Booster Club people. We were looking around at what was going on with recreation. The main thing is that I wouldn't say we're doing a bad job. We have a lot of good teams, a lot of great athletes. One of the things that the rec committee really was concerned about was athletic achievement. So that's why we had Colleen Bauer present to us. She talked about how social media worked for the schools, how Instagram worked, how the Facebook sites worked. We did find that a lot of this stuff could use a little bit more coordination. She even mentioned it. One of the big takeaways was to look at other districts, how they did it. We just wanted to see more of the athletic achievement that our kids are doing pushed out to the rest of the community. We think it makes a lot of difference. But the biggest thing that came up was around capital projects. Now, there are two parts of that for us. One of them was obviously things like goalie nets. You go to some of the schools, you might notice some of the goals or some of the fields are lacking certain things like maybe a scoreboard, maybe a goalie net on a goal. There were questions on how to even get those, which I thought was interesting. Also, the condition of the fields themselves. I think it's easier for the schools right now to take care of the sports that don't require, I guess, a layout of capital funds for, say, a field, such as lacrosse, baseball, soccer. Those require a bit more planning. And right now, if you look at the condition of the fields, especially where I just came from, I came from JFK. That JFK field is used a lot, but in poor condition. The reason for that is both the leveling of the field, the drainage. I think that one of the big investments that our committee looked at was around that. I think the conversation with David Watson led to, obviously, how to influence the Board of Ed to see it as an important thing, where, obviously, there are other fields, even the field that's at North Middle, around the track. It's usually in good condition, but the reason why it deteriorates so fast is because it's not necessarily level and it doesn't drain as well. This probably would be somewhere where our committee was thinking that we were hoping the schools would invest in. Obviously, right now, the expectation that we're going to commit to a turf facility is a tough one. Especially with COVID, the cost of these things is very high. But we're hoping that the Board of Ed can see the idea that keeping our fields in tip-top shape will create a situation where our athletics will improve. Meaning, the other topic which came up, which I'll mention, is around coaching. I think that the community itself sees coaching as a big issue. There are cases where a lot of parents have pointed out that they felt like some of the coaches, while it's great they're volunteering to run a sport, they might not have the necessary skills. So the idea was that, can we train our coaches to get better? Can we bring in outside help? I think that the CYO organization, essentially around basketball, volunteered to help. And we could find other organizations which do have resources that could help build a link between these other organizations, our schools, and improve the ability for our coaches to train in these sports. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because I see getting better coaches as part of improving our athletic facilities. I think that the main thing that I'm pointing out is that there are a number of issues that people are not necessarily unhappy about, but they do want to see Great Neck do a better job of, because they can look at the surrounding communities like Manhasset and Port Washington, and they see the emphasis on sports. And they want us to emphasize sports a little bit more. How we get there, whether it's a capital investment, whether it's improving our coaching, whether it's improving the ability for our booster clubs to fundraise, is part of the questions that I think we're going to have to manage. And I guess that goes back to the last point I'll make, and I'll be done, is that I think that we need a plan. That's the biggest one. Meaning, I think that people see sports as an important linkage for the community, and they want a bigger plan coming from, I guess, the Board of Ed, from the administration around it. They also want the community to help do it. So to achieve that, they are requesting, and again, it's a request, they want to have a say. So I think that that's really a sports committee. They want the Board of Ed to sort of build a sports committee so that we can help build a plan around how we get improvements in our athletics. Now, I don't necessarily see our athletics as bad, and nor did the committee, but they see the focus, meaning there's a lot of focus, there's a lot of differences, there's differences between North and South. People want different things. And again, that affects how we invest in these things. And long term, people see that athletics helps us get into colleges. They help with different things. So people just want to see, can we come up with a way to put a plan around these things that the committee was concerned about? Now, in terms of our goals for next year, I just mentioned most of them. A sports advisory committee, a roadmap to improve athletic achievement, a facility upgrade discussion with the Board of Ed. And again, that's a long-term thing and will cost quite a bit of dollars and planning time, but that's a hope. Coaching improvements and an expansion of sports participation. I didn't really cover this, but there are some sports where there's a heavy amount of children participating, such as volleyball and other ones, and people would like to see those sports expanded. Thank you. Yep.
Actually, there's one before the last two. Shared decision-making. So Amy Lai had a previous engagement for this evening, so I will share the steering committee report for shared decision-making. The shared decision-making committee for 2023 was made up of 3 parents, 3 faculty members, and the superintendent of schools. It serves as the coordinating body for shared decision-making committees for each respective individual school building. The main function of the shared decision-making committee is to organize the autumn training session, help new members understand how shared decision-making works, and organize the spring meeting with the Board of Education, where each building can discuss their year-long process and accomplishments. The committee also meets during the year to check the progress of various committees throughout the district, facilitate issues within, and coordinate special events specific to SDMC. The biennial review that takes place every 2 years was concluded May 24th last year, and a consensus of all approved changes to the bylaws were finalized and forwarded to all the schools. This was particularly relevant as there were many questions from parents who had missed the continuity of shared decision committees over the course of the pandemic and needed guidance and clarity for their respective schools committee organization. We had one meeting in January 2023. The predominant focus was on the following academic year's fall training dinner meeting and biannual reviews. The collective shared decision spring year-end report presentation to the board is planned for next week on Wednesday, June 7th at 7:30 p.m. at South High. It is anticipated to be an in-person and possibly online event. Thank you. And now we're going to go for SEPTA with Shaili and Bita.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here today. SEPTA had a very productive and successful school year. SEPTA's first meeting was held on October 11th at the Great Neck North High, and it was an opportunity to inform and guide the parents through the process of getting their children evaluated for special education services and the different type of services available at the elementary and secondary levels. We had a wonderful partnership with the Great Neck Library this year. We did a 3-part series where Denise Corcoran and Adam Hines helped us bring Dr. Donna Thiel to present on executive functions. The first series was all about what it is and what it looked like. The second and the third series was practical tools and strategies that parents can implement in their home. And it was hands-on, it was collaborative. It talked about emotional regulation, time management, problem solving, and motivation. Things that parents can benefit in their home to help their child be successful academically, since executive functioning is the foundation for learning. We also had the opportunity to have our May 1st presentation translated into Chinese to serve our diverse community, which was really remarkable. All of the presentations were recorded, handouts were given, and were shared to our entire community. Additionally, SEPTA is very proud to return support groups for the SEPTA families. The first support group was led by Dr. Thiel, and after her first presentation, and then the second one was guided by Dr. Ilana Dumont, and both were very well received. We're really excited that this June, JFK and Saddle will be hosting their annual Best Buddy Olympics, and and we are proud to sponsor the t-shirts for the students, the staffs, and all their buddies. Our goal for next year is to continue our partnership with the Great Neck Library. It has been beautiful, and we're looking forward to creating more educational opportunities for the entire district. Although we are special education, I think that learning impacts us all, and we learn in different ways, and we could always benefit from learning, understanding the process of learning and how we can implement it in our homes with our children. Furthermore, we are excited to have a referral list that will give parents in our community access to different specialists, doctors that are being given from the community, from experience that parents have had, so that they can get a neuropsych evaluation, they can get a therapist, they can get a physical therapist, whatever services that they need, and it will be accessible for the entire district. We're hoping to have social events like ice skating and arts and crafts parties that integrate both special ed and our regular ed, so that way there's an integration and an inclusiveness. In addition, we're looking to collaborate with the principals at the elementary and secondary levels, Great Neck Park districts, and partner with other schools' SEPTA programs like Manhasset or Port Washington or Jericho, nearing districts, to start collaborating and learning more and connecting more to diversify our parent body to understand that there is support out there. We want to thank you, the administration, the Great Neck Library, the Board of Education, UPTC, President's Councils, for all of their support and for a very wonderful and successful year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least, total community involvement with Kevin and Moji.
Hello again. The mission of the TCI committee is to bring Great Neck community together to overcome challenges and celebrate our differences and rich history. This year, we explored several options to celebrate the success of the school district and alumni, and collaborated with the Great Neck Student Aid Fund and the Great Neck Chinese Association for 3 successful events. At the beginning of the school year, we reached out through the President's Council to engage parents from every school. With the help of the PTOs, we set up our committee to include 2 parent representatives from each building. With the support of the GNTA, 2 teachers are also part of our committee. We engaged in discussions regarding the prospect of organizing an event to invite esteemed alumni to host a series of talks and panel discussions to our students, parents, and the community at large. We sent invitations to several highly visible alumni. Unfortunately, we could not secure a date for them to come. We therefore plan to continue our efforts to host the event in the forthcoming year.
We co-sponsored 2 events with the Great Neck Student Aid Fund in April and May. The first event, Fun Walk for Education, was hosted on April 23. The second event, the Best of Broadway, featuring our graduate, Alex Schechter, and Dr. Pamela Levy, was held on May 9th at the North High School auditorium. The funds raised were used to help pay for the first-year college expenses for some of Great Neck students in need. We co-sponsored with the GNCA and the school district for an interactive event to celebrate the Asian American Pacific Islander AAPI history on May 8th, curated to commemorate the significance of the AAPI history. Aligned with the AAPI Heritage Month, this event was a testament to our dedication to fostering diversity and promoting inclusion within our school district. The event witnessed a large turnout with approximately 200 families in attendance. Professor Joyce Moy from the Asian American Asian Research Institute of the City University of New York delivered a keynote speech at the event. In her speech, she reflected on her family journey and the contributions of the AAPI community. Our teachers and the staff showcased their dedicated efforts in developing comprehensive teaching materials over the years, all designed to integrate the AAPI history into our curriculum. The success of the event demonstrated our school district's commitment to diversity and inclusion. We would like to thank all who have contributed to our events this year. Together, we will continue to create meaningful events, experience, and drive positive changes for our students and the community in the forthcoming year and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Matt and Rachel.
So I guess one final thank you from us. First of all, I just hope that everybody recognizes here, and I think we do, just one of those committee updates, we could sit here and say, wow. I mean, it was like truly amazing. So thank you so much to all of the chairpersons. It's time, energy, labor of love. Thank you to all of you, those who are sitting here, you know, in the administration, on the dais, on the board. All of this takes a lot of time. And as we all kind of point out to each other, like, nobody gets paid for this beyond like our love and our joy that we get from knowing the benefit that it provides to our children. So I just think it's so tremendous when you hear these updates, and it's just a big thank you from me to all of the chair people and everybody who's in this room, because it really does matter and it makes a huge difference. So thank you for that.
I echo Matt's sentiments, because we're doing the hard work. And when you do that, and you give of your time, you give of yourself, and you do it for the betterment of the community, you do it for the betterment of our students, it's not just one, we're looking out for everyone. So again, we're just so appreciative of all the work that has been done and the work that will continue to be done. And I would like to thank my partner in crime. I couldn't have asked for a better co-chair, co-president, co-everything. You've been a fabulous partner, and we will have stories to share forever as a result. So it's just been, you know, an absolute honor and privilege to serve. And I encourage all of you, if you have any interest to volunteer, we will always find a way, because this is us, this is you, this is all of us.
Awesome.
So on my own behalf, and I'm sure other board members are going to want to chime in, as I was listening to all of the reports and reacting in my mind, I was trying to think of what could be said that would apply to all of the reports in sum. And I go back to where we began at the beginning of this year's UPTC cycle, when I was privileged to be invited and to address the UPTC. And at the time, we were talking about what was seen at the time as a sort of disparate time. UPTC was expressing concern about a policy change. UPTC's leadership was concerned about how to reach members, what the different committees could do without a distribution list from the district. There was frustration. I'm just going to verbalize it. There were concerns from the parents in the room about what their task would be. And I remember saying at the time, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And now it's a school year later, and we see what the results are from the nimbleness and the creativity and the resourcefulness of UPTC's leaders and the committee chairs, what you've done with what was at the time a challenge and your creativity as a result. And I would say, I think that you've had a metamorphosis, and it's been really great. And some of it was born of challenge. And that's actually what Matt started with, is challenge. And sometimes that's what breeds excellence. So what I just want to highlight that really stood out to me as a person who has been involved in UPTC before I ended up on this side of the table is how after the pandemic and after the policy change, each of your committees was able to pivot and use the Zoom platform to bring in parents and others who weren't able to attend in person. How you were able to use recordings and translation to bring in more participation. How you've also, in so many of your reports, indicated that you are working with other community-based organizations, whether the library or Northwell Health, or you didn't mention it, but I know you're working with the Historical Society, and also other organizations, and how that also redounds to the benefit of the community, because UPTC has become its own resource to parents, to teachers, and this is a huge district with, as we've seen, so many different stakeholders, residents who've turned to UPTC for information, parents who turn to UPTC for information, and you've become a clearinghouse, as Matt said, and you should take great pride in that. And your reports indicate that every single one of the committees has really been just very substantive this year. And the other thing to just mention is that UPTC really does have all the stakeholder groups, just like shared decision making did all those years ago that I was on it. So you have the collaboration with teachers, with administrators, and parents, and that's really where it's at. That's where you find consensus. So I commend you. I think these reports have been stellar. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. I was so interested in listening to the reports. I served as president in 1987 and 88 of UPTC, and some of the committees have totally morphed into something else. They still have the same name, but they've updated and are affecting the children and that we have in school now, and the issues that we have in Great Neck. And others, legislative, doing the same thing, the same hard work in getting our local legislators to come in and be a part of what we're doing. So I thank you all for your volunteerism, and if you work hard enough, someday you could be up here. Thank you very much.
That was meant to incentivize you, not scare you. Grant, Mr. Talk.
I would say I'm not sure I could say anything more eloquently than Rebecca or Donna, but I did want to at least say that very thankful for your time and your participation. I know everyone up here works hard too, and we actually come to rely upon you all. You're a tremendous resource for us at the board level. You know, I've learned a lot from you over this year and in previous years, and it's really been a privilege. And I would also say that one of the best things about listening to the reports was getting me excited for next year, which is only a couple weeks away. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with you all again next year. Rachel, I'm sorry to hear you're moving, but you know, looking forward to it, and thank you all very much again.
I miss you already, Rachel. I think Barbara, Mrs. Berkowitz, would also like to speak.
Yes, I too come from a background of UPTC before coming on the board many decades ago, both as a delegate back in 1987, and chairing the policy committee for years until I came onto the board. Honestly, it's But my hope would be, I'm not just going to rest on the laurels of past years, my hope really will be for a continued partnership, perhaps even a more enhanced partnership between UPTC and the Board of Education, because it's so imperative you all are our link to what's going on in the community. My hope would be that it's going to be even more of a link going forward. Anything I think that the board can do, past board members can do, is certainly there of that. And I definitely hope that it's going to become even more of a partnership. We both know the different committees, we all mentioned what they did this year for themselves. I hope it'll come back to this level as well. And then we can all work together.
So once again, thank you very much. At this time, we have, actually, wait, before we do, well, we could open the doors. We can open the doors. And then we have a brief interlude, and we will continue with the agenda. Moment of surprise. I'd like to just thank Rob Zahn. I'm not going to tell you, Dr. Prendergast, because you said don't tell me. But I am thanking Rob Zahn. And I think that some of us are going to get out of the way now, okay?
On today's show, it is my privilege to speak with the new superintendent of the Great Neck Public Schools, Dr. Teresa Prendergast.
Dr. Prendergast, it was such a blessing, it was such an honor to get to know you during my time as a Great Neck student. We always see you walking around the hallways, talking with the kids, seeing how everybody's doing. So Dr. Prendergast, as you're going on to your new endeavor, all of us, the former alumni of Great Neck Public Schools, we wish you good luck in your new job and hope you live it up.
Teresa, congratulations as you move on to your next phase in life. It has been an absolute pleasure working alongside you during my years both in PTA and as UPTC president. Wishing you the best. Great Neck will miss you, our district will miss you, and we'll all lead by the example you've set.
On behalf of the per diems in Great Neck, we just want to thank you for your 8 years of distinguished service, leading us and navigating us through probably the most challenging time anybody has ever seen. Your leadership was, we thought, remarkable. You listened to people, you treated everybody with respect, and we really appreciate it.
We recall the chaos of learning in the spring of 2020 what was going on, and you having to wait for guidance, and just how calm you led our school district.
So we wanted to thank you for all that you did during that time and before and after. To be a voice of reason, you always wanted to hear what we had to say. You took copious notes whenever we spoke. You made us feel heard. You made every parent and every child feel heard, and it is so appreciated. Thank you so much, and best wishes for wherever your next chapter takes you.
Dr. Prendergast, I wanted to take a few moments to just say thank you. Thank you on behalf of the UPTC. Thank you also for me personally for all the work that you've done for the community, for the district, for the schools, and for our children.
We wish you well as you begin a new chapter in your life. Good luck, Teresa.
Dr. Prendergast, it was a great pleasure having worked with you and was able to observe your keen intellect, heartfelt compassion, and steadfast commitment to helping each student achieve their potential. We wish you continued success and happiness in your new adventures.
Can you believe that it's been 8 years already? That doesn't seem possible. But the thing that's going to stick out for me is the personal conversations that we've had over time, the way that you made me feel, and it's meant a lot to me. And I just want to wish you the best of everything.
Hi, Teresa. I just wanted to thank you very much, both as a parent and as a member of the Board of Education, for all your years of service here in the Great Neck School District. You will definitely be missed. I also wanted to congratulate you on getting the opportunity of a lifetime, and I wanted to wish you the very best of good luck on your new journey, and I look forward to hearing all about it.
Teresa, I wish you well
As you remember, I had the opportunity to work very closely with you for your first few years here in Great Neck, and I hope that you will bring that same level of excitement and enthusiasm when you go to Sacred Hearts Academy, and I'm sure you will, and I wish you well in your future endeavors.
Dr. Prendergast, Teresa, it has been the greatest pleasure working for you at first and then with you as collegially for the last 6 years. I wish you all the good things that life will bring and an easier time in the future.
I want to thank you on behalf of all of our residents and our children and on behalf of the board for your years of service and dedication here in Great Neck. And I would like to offer you the following blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sunshine warm your face, Teresa. The rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. So we knew that there would come a time that Dr. Prendergast would have to allow us to recognize her, but she did not want us to recognize her. So we basically had to twist her arm and get her to allow us to choose a date. And it has come. So Teresa, thank you very much for your service here. We're still together and through the end of the summer, as we know. But and thank you to Rob Zahn for that wonderful video. It's amazing how quickly time passes. When I first came to know you, Teresa, it was through an introduction by Barbara at Phipps, actually, and through Monique Bloom, a former trustee. And we then planned an event with Dr. Dolan and Dr. Shine. And at the time, I never imagined that I would end up sitting next to you here at this dais and that we would be planning for the future of the district after your term would conclude. But here we are, and thank you very much for all the years that you've been with us. And on behalf of the board, I just would like to present to you this certificate of recognition for your exceptional contributions, your leadership, your dedication to the Great Neck Public Schools community during your 8-year tenure as our superintendent of schools. And now, without further ado, unless there's other comments, would you please?
First of all, I want to thank everyone for
this recognition. Mr. Zahn, where are you? We're going to talk later. You usually work very closely with me as we preview certain videos before they're shared with the public, but you kept this one a secret. Okay, it's fine. I just want to thank everyone for this recognition. As I reflect on my time here as superintendent, I'm filled with a profound sense of pride for the accomplishments that we have attained as a school community. It has really been my privilege to serve and to work alongside members of this Board of Education, prior board members, my administrative team, our teachers, our support staff, parents, and of course the greater community, all of whom are truly invested in the success and the well-being of our students. We've worked diligently to create a nurturing and inclusive environment where every student feels valued, supported, nurtured, and empowered so that they may reach their full potential. And while I appreciate the support of our administrative team, I would be remiss if I don't acknowledge the teachers and for the work that you do day in and day out as we support our district goals. Together, we've navigated a few challenges, we've celebrated achievements, but we've constantly strived for innovation and growth and the model of continuous improvement. The successes that we have achieved are a testament to the collective spirit and the shared vision of this community. I am so very proud to have been a part of it. As I move forward into the next phase of my life, I do so with a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for the opportunity to have served this wonderful community as your superintendent. I will forever cherish the memories, the relationships, and the experiences that have shaped me both personally and professionally. I want to thank my family for their support and for allowing me to be away from home in order to serve this community. But I do want to acknowledge the fact that the impact of our collective work, it will endure. I have faith in this community and our board, and I'm honored to have been a part of this journey in support of the students. And I'm going to carry the spirit of this community with me always, and I will be watching and praying from afar so that we can continue to do great work on behalf of the children of this wonderful community. Thank you very much for this recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Prendergast. And we are now up to an exciting part of our agenda where we will be recognizing some very wonderful candidates for tenure. Item 4A. And for that, we're going to turn to to Dr. Prendergast. Take your time.
Turn your mic on. Sorry. One administrator and 17 teachers are being recommended for tenure this evening. Tenure is a significant milestone in an educator's career. It symbolizes not only their expertise and commitment to their craft, but also the recognition of their invaluable contributions to the field of education. These individuals that will be recognized this evening have demonstrated their unwavering passion, dedication, and the ability to inspire and ignite a love of learning for their students. As you know, tenure is not bestowed easily. It is earned through years of tireless effort, continuous growth, and an unwavering commitment to the betterment of education. Our honorees have proven themselves as leaders in their classrooms, our halls of schools, and pillars of support for their students. They have shown exceptional skill in adapting to the ever-evolving landscape of education, embracing new teaching methodologies, and providing an inclusive and nurturing learning environment. Our honorees have invested countless hours beyond the classroom, whether it be through curriculum development, extracurricular activities, mentoring, or collaborating with their colleagues. They have become lifelong learners themselves, constantly seeking ways to enhance their teaching strategies and to bring out the very best in each and every student. So tonight we're going to begin with the recommendations for tenure, And it is my pleasure to introduce first our South High School principal, Dr. Gitz, who will speak on behalf of Adam Hopkins. And I would ask, as each individual is being recognized for tenure, to please join with their building principal up toward the podium, facing the audience, so that Mr. Hopkins, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prendergast. Dr. Prendergast, Mr. Suni, and members of the Board of Education, it is my pleasure to recognize 4 South High educators this evening that will be recommended for tenure. They all have demonstrated superior teaching and leadership ability. They've grown as educators, colleagues, and friends. They've discovered their own greatness while helping others to discover their greatness as well. It is my pleasure to recommend Adam Hopkins to receive tenure as an assistant principal at Great Neck South High School. In his time at South High, Adam has worked tirelessly to create a master schedule that maximizes our students' opportunity for growth and exploration. In a short time, he has become a part of the fabric of South High. I fully enjoy his references to Ted Lasso, which have had an incredibly positive impact on our school and school community. Although we don't see eye to eye on who the better baseball team is in New York, we certainly see eye to eye in our approach to students. I've come to rely on his thoughtful and insightful and steady approach to leadership and working with young people. He is truly the consummate professional and is always a gentleman. It is my pleasure to recommend Adam Hopkins to receive tenure. Adam, congratulations.
Up in a little bit later on.
I'll be back.
Yep.
As
And,
Arnold Schwarzenegger
next,
once
I'd
said.
like to invite Mr. Grimaldi. Please come on up with members of the E.M. Baker School family.
Got to keep your name badge on. Good evening, President Sassooni, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Prendergast, Central Office Administration. I'm so happy to present to you this evening 2 wonderful educators and candidates for tenure who both call E.M. Baker School their second home. It's been a privilege for me to serve as their principal during their probationary period of employment. Over the past 4 years, Mrs. Courtney Masson-Kiriakou has been an integral member of the E.M. Baker School and our reading department. However, Courtney is no stranger to EMB. Prior to her probationary appointment, she served as an hourly reading teacher right here at Baker for many years. Courtney is an exceptionally skilled reading teacher with extensive reading recovery training and experience. Her instruction is targeted and explicit, which results in her students' reading growth. She demonstrates in-depth knowledge of literacy best practices aligned to the general curriculum, as well as remedial interventions. Additionally, she provides counsel and resources to colleagues throughout the building in areas such as small group work, analyzing student work to improve instruction, strengthening student fluency and comprehension, as well as identifying individual and explicit reading goals. Courtney works collaboratively with building administration and colleagues throughout the school. She's an active member of Baker's Literacy Committee, BCG, and shared decision-making committees. She also participates in Baker's annual March Reading Month activities, and this year she was one of many stars in the culminating faculty production of Stone Soup. Mrs. Kathleen Murtaugh joined Baker's faculty nearly 4 years ago after spending more than 15 years as an elementary school teacher in New York City and North Carolina. These experiences made her a model teacher early into her tenure at EMB. Since day one, she has created a supportive and caring learning environment for her students. Kathleen demonstrates a high level of expertise in implementing comprehensive, rigorous, and student-centered instruction every single day. She enriches the curriculum by incorporating various technology applications, as well as always creating an interactive and hands-on learning experiences to accommodate all learning modalities and styles. Kathleen has a high level of knowledge in the area of literacy. Her ability to meet with her students individually and in small groups on a daily basis is exemplary. And she'll always comment about class size here in Baker, or in Great Neck, being so small. Ms. Murtaugh is an active member of the school community. She's devoted to the students and staff. She's become an integral member of our family.
She sits on school-based committees that include TAC, the Technology Committee, and the Literacy Committee. It's a privilege to have Kathleen as a member of the Ian Baker faculty. Dr. Prendergast, it's my pleasure to recommend Courtney Muson-Kiriakou and Kathleen Murtaugh for tenure within the Great Neck Public Schools.
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to invite to the podium the principal of the John F. Kennedy School, Mr. Jamundo, and the JFK family members as well.
President Sassooni, members of the board, Dr. Prendergast, central office administrators, and honored guests. I stand before you with three exceptional JFK educators that I'll be recommending for tenure this evening. These outstanding teachers have demonstrated passion for their craft, dedication to their students, and consistent leadership qualities. Ms. Amanda Palchevek has demonstrated dedication and true resolve as she embraced her special education assignments at JFK each year as a speech pathologist. It takes a very special person and a unique skill set to be a speech teacher in our intensive needs special education classrooms and to make instructional adjustments based on caseloads. Amanda does this seamlessly and always with a smile. Amanda's devotion and commitment to her students and the team of support staff at JFK have been exceptional. She consults with her team daily, and the JFK staff members often reach out to Amanda for advice about supporting students with IEPs. As a special education provider, Amanda utilizes unique strategies and methods on a daily basis to support students in meeting their goals. Her instruction with students reflect genuine respect and caring, and she's highly collaborative with faculty, staff, and administration. Amanda, I commend you for your flexibility, your dedication, and unwavering commitment to our students, and for leading the JFK Sunshine Committee to enhance school morale. Congratulations. Mrs. Jill Skolnick has demonstrated dedication and professionalism as an exceptional kindergarten teacher at the John F. Kennedy School. Since the first day that Jill arrived at JFK, she has been fully invested in the success of our students and has repeatedly stated that JFK is where she wants to teach. This year, Jill skillfully cared for and supported her kindergarten students with new phonics program and all district curriculum initiatives. She also consistently collaborated with her kindergarten colleagues as they prepared special events and activities. Jill has been instrumental as a member of the JFK Shared Decision-Making Committee and has successfully guided parents and teachers to reach consensus on worthy SDM goals identified for this school year. Jill, 3 years ago, you made a smooth transition to JFK, and since that time, I thank you for your flexibility that you have demonstrated with regard to moving classrooms, changing grades. However, it is clear that you have now found your home with the JFK kindergarten team. Janice Thomas. During the past 4 years, Mrs. Janice Thomas has demonstrated dedication and professionalism as an exceptional third grade teacher. Janice's devotion to her students has been particularly noteworthy as she has worked as a general education co-teacher, collaborating successfully with her special education partner to support all students. Janice's interactions with students reflect genuine respect and care, and she's highly collaborative with faculty, staff, and administration. I commend Janice for her ongoing flexibility and unwavering commitment to the children she has nurtured in her classroom. She's well-versed in supporting English language learners, students with IEPs, and students needing academic support. Janice, you are a vital member of the Great Neck Public Schools, and I thank you for your dedication and leadership on the Technology Committee and for serving as the JFK district-wide social studies rep for the 3rd grade. In view of the high standards of teaching, positive attitude, and commitment to children, I recommend to the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Prendergast, that Ms. Amanda Paljevec, Ms. Jill Skolnick, and Mrs. Janice Thomas be granted tenure in the Great Neck Public Schools.
At this time, I'd like to invite Miss Emily Zukal to the podium. And I believe you have Jessica coming up as well. Thank you.
President Sassooni, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Prendergast, Ms. Newman, Dr. Landau, Dr. Hickey, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure this evening to present special education teacher Jessica Thompson for tenure in the Great Neck Public Schools. Ms. Thompson is completing her final year of probation at Lakeville Elementary School following 3 successful years at JFK. Over the past 4 years, Ms. Thompson has consistently demonstrated exceptional skills, professionalism, and a genuine passion for helping students with special needs reach their full potential. Her extensive knowledge of special education practices, strategies, and individualized instruction has greatly benefited our students, their families, and our school community. Beyond the classroom, Ms. Thompson is a respected member of our school family. She consistently collaborates with others in service of her students and has demonstrated her willingness to take on additional responsibilities. Ms. Thompson is a cheerleading professional, serving as cheerleading coach at both South High School and at Lakeville. To put it in a way that will resonate, Jessica, now as tenure graces your deserving name, we celebrate your accomplishments, your acclaim. May this milestone be a stepping stone to even greater heights yet to be known. So let the confetti fall, the music play, as we honor you on this glorious day. With cheers and applause, we proudly say congratulations on earning tenure today. I am confident in Jessica Thompson's abilities and commitment to the field of special education, and it is with pleasure that I enthusiastically recommend her for tenure in the Great Neck Public Schools.
Thank you, Ms. Zukal. Ms. Bradley, you're up next with Christine. Welcome to the podium.
Ms. Sassooni, members of the board, Dr. Prendergast, Central Office administrators, colleagues, and families and friends. I speak proudly before you this evening to enthusiastically recommend Christine Sammy for tenure in the Great Neck Public Schools. As her principal, I have repeatedly witnessed Christine's dedication to her students, her passion for education, and her commitment to the school community. Christine's experience in various grade levels and roles has allowed her to bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to her current position in the 812. She has shown a remarkable ability to adapt and modify curriculum and meet the needs of her students, and her efforts have resulted in significant improvements in their academic and behavioral outcomes. During the pandemic, Christine was able to successfully engage her students despite the challenges of remote learning. Christine's contributions to Saddle Rock extend beyond her work in the classroom. She has been an active member of the Technology Committee and has demonstrated leadership in taking on the responsibility of Wilson training. Her willingness to share her knowledge and expertise with her colleagues is a testament to her commitment to the school community and her desire to see her colleagues succeed. One aspect of Christine's character that stands out to me is her compassion and empathy for her students and their families. As a parent of a child with a disability, Christine maintains a unique perspective on the challenges that families sometimes face in navigating the educational system. Her experience has made her a strong advocate for parents and has motivated her to continue to expand her knowledge to better serve students and their families. Christine Sammy is a dedicated and talented educator who has made significant contributions to Saddle Rock. I wholeheartedly recommend her for tenure, and I am confident that she will continue to make a positive impact on her students, colleagues, and the school community as a whole. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Bradley. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Holtzman and the members of the North High School faculty to the podium.
Get comfortable in your seats. Good evening, Board of Education President Sassouni, Vice President Shi, Board Trustees, Ms. Berkowitz, Ms. Perez, Mr. Tak, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Prendergast, Central Office Administration, colleagues, friends, and family. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome all of you this evening to speak about the 7 teachers at John L. Moore Great Neck North High School receiving tenure this evening. It's always a challenge to sum up 4 years of work inside of 60 seconds. Let us begin. It's important to note that each of the teachers' probationary periods was during the throes of COVID, and each of them rose to the challenge and demonstrated their adaptability and creativity. Randy Arbitelli. I'm confused here because I feel like Randy has been in the school for 10 years, and I can't believe this is only her tenure recommendation tonight, so we're very pleased. At some point this year, all who know and work with Randy said it's about time. Randy began her career as an hourly teacher in our study skills program, providing support and vital resources to students in a small, individualized setting. Her passion for teaching and developing as a professional was evident from the very beginning, and since moving into a probationary position, her influence, guidance, and love of her students has only grown with each passing year. Randy's classroom is a welcoming, warm, and supportive environment for her students, and she prides herself in reaching all of her students on academic and personal levels. Ms. Arbitelli brings positivity and great energy to her colleagues and students. She is supportive and collaborative and is someone everyone enjoys being around. Mrs. Arbitelli is a team player and brings tremendous value to the department and to the school community. Outside of the classroom, Ms. Arbitelli is faculty advisor to the robotics team and attends school-wide events to support her students and foster her connection to the school community. Congratulations, Randy. Jordan Barback. Mr. Barback, I apologize. Dr. Barback, he earned his doctorate this year, has grown to be a dynamo in the science department. A graduate of North High School, Jordan has been in the department for 6 years, first serving as a leave replacement. Jordan recognized the need for additional certified physics teachers in the department, and this led to a return to school to earn a certification in physics. His contributions to curriculum, assessment, and project development have been invaluable to the course's growth and continued success. Jordan's classroom is energetic, engaging, dynamic, and exciting. One of Jordan's strengths is his ability to connect the curriculum to real-world applications. He's taught our inclusion classes in both biology and physics, and has been very successful in motivating and encouraging students to take academic risks. Jordan is collaborative and passionate about teaching and learning and brings tremendous insight to the conversations in the office and during staff meetings. His co-teachers have all shared that Jordan is easy to work with, is open to new ideas and new ways of doing things. Outside the classroom, Jordan serves as the varsity soccer coach and varsity girls lacrosse coach and attends many school-wide events which enables him to further connect with his students. Congratulations, Jordan. Lindsay Barrera. It's not Spirit Week, Lindsay. So many times I've observed Lindsay and it's been Spirit Week, I'm beginning to think that Pajama Day was every day. Lindsay Barrera is a family consumer science teacher having taught in both North High and North Middle. One of the challenges faced when working in 2 buildings is immersing oneself in their respective cultures. This is something that Lindsay has done extremely well. Whether through Spirit Weeks or attending events to support her students, Ms. Barrera is part of the fabric of North High and North Middle. The lessons are structured so there is guided practice and then application, as the primary goal of these courses is to promote independence, collaboration, and working outside one's comfort zones. The FACTS program organizes several friendly competitions throughout the year, such as Restaurant Wars and Cupcake Wars. Ms. Barrera has been an important contributor to the success of these events. At North High, she has taken on the advisor role in her 9th grade advisory program, which has helped her serve as a conduit for students as they transition to high school. At North Middle, she's been instrumental in administering very successful career days. In addition, she has taken over as the Baking Club advisor and continues to support her colleagues in departmental initiatives. She is collaborative and reflective in her practices, and discussions focused on teaching and learning are always constructive and meaningful. She is well-versed in technology and attends conferences annually to ensure her curriculum is aligned with program updates and changes. Professional growth and commitment to our schools has only further strengthened our family consumer science program at both schools. Congratulations. Carmelo Carbone. Thank you for taking time from your wedding planning to be here tonight. Mr. Carbone has co-taught chemistry, biology, and physics, and our 1st and 2nd year self-contained classes for biology, and our practical science class for students who thrive in small group environments with varied intervention and support strategies. Mr. Carbone's lessons and activities are engaging, and they bridge ideas and concepts outside the curriculum to what is being taught. Classroom experience is always more meaningful when the greater purpose of student learning is acknowledged. Mr. Carbone has developed positive relationships with his students and is regularly sought out for guidance and support by students, teachers, and the administrative team. His insight into his students serves as a tremendous resource in addressing their specific academic, social, emotional, and/or behavioral needs. Mr. Carbone's connections with colleagues, students, and parents have built a foundation of trust and mutual respect that fosters ongoing communication and collaborative relationships. Outside the school day, Mr. Carbone is an active member in the school community. He coaches 8th grade boys soccer, 7th grade boys basketball, and 7th grade girls basketball at South Middle School, and he regularly attends school events as a show of support for all students in the building. Congratulations. Allison Eckert. Given how busy Allison is, I'm just grateful she was able to make it here tonight. Ms. Eckert is an incredible asset to the ENL department and school community at North High. She provides creative and supportive instruction in a well-developed safe space for students to learn. Ms. Eckert carefully plans her lessons, specifically designing instruction with the understanding that each child is individual and specific in academic, social, and emotional needs. The execution of her lessons is engaging and addresses different learning styles to be sure that students comprehend a wide range of material across multiple subject areas. Ms. Eckert consistently addresses students' needs in a timely manner with the guidance department and our Family First counselors, further demonstrating her deep dedication to her students and to the program. Ms. Eckert co-hosts and facilitates group parent meetings throughout the year to provide information and assistance in the areas of technology, course curriculum, graduation requirements, and encouraging their children to participate in school activities. And most importantly, these meetings serve as a way to build school community relationships. Ms. Eckert is a team player and provides support to her colleagues by providing information and assistance to be sure that the students' educational and instructional needs are being met. Outside the classroom, she is a class advisor where her connection to the school is extended beyond the classroom. She works with class officers to organize and participate in events that bring the classes together, such as Battle of the Grades, Sophomore S'mores, and Junior Event. And next year, she takes on the role of being senior class advisor. Her supportive and welcoming approach and character set a tone as a positive role model for her students, and I'm proud of her contributions and accomplishments. Congratulations. Sarah Ketchum. Sarah Ketchum is a hardworking, dedicated, and insightful resource in the English department. She has taught 9th and 11th grade Regents and inclusion classes in a collaborative way that builds reading, communication, and writing skills. She is detailed and thorough in her planning and skilled at meeting the needs of our diverse student population. Sarah has worked extensively within the inclusion program, developing relationships with co-teachers through trust and open communication and a shared vision and philosophy of what co-teaching looks like in a classroom and planning lessons to meet the needs of all learners. Ms. Ketchum's work has featured an array of learning tasks in partnered work, group work, presentations, character analysis, rhetorical analysis, read-alouds, and much more. Ms. Ketchum is skilled at using technology in the classroom, and she has helped her colleagues in this area and serves as the department's technology committee representative. Ms. Ketchum's classroom is a collaborative and student-centered environment. It is evident from her interactions with students that she cares about them as learners and people. She enjoys bringing learning to life and enjoys learning alongside her students. Mrs. Ketchum is both a teacher and student of English. She actively looks for new approaches to writing instruction, seeking ways to help students expand their writing and personal narratives. And on a personal note, what I am most impressed about her is her perseverance, fortitude, and strong sense of self. I have found conversations with Ms. Ketchum to be inspiring, collegial, and educational. Thank you, Sarah, and congratulations. Allison Wadowski. I'd like to start by telling you a funny story about Allison, but I can't because she's always serious. A graduate of North High School, Allison has been teaching a lineup of 4 preps for the last 3 years: biology, freshman science research, science in our world, and ENL living environment. Allison has restructured a 9th grade research curriculum with her colleague, Chris Bambino. Students emerge with a solid foundation in science research principles and complete a full research project and paper in psychology. Science in our world students have been observed outside collecting cloud data, creating materials for various competitions related to the environment, and taking a virtual trip to the national park, or learning about science behind fire safety. In her ENL class, Allison has created a safe, nurturing, and academically rigorous environment with her co-teacher, Allison Eckert. The ENL students are thriving under her kind approach and supportive guidance. Allison has become an integral member of the North High community, serving as the class of 2026 advisor and our 9th grade advisory program. She has been instrumental in the Celebrate Science Night, Science Symposium, and the Freshman World Cup for Science Research, and she has taken on the role of the pre-med club advisor. Allison is a G3 New York member and is trained to talk about the experience of her grandfather during the Holocaust, and she presented a captivating presentation this year to our juniors at our annual Holocaust Remembrance Day event. I would be remiss if I did not quote Ms. York, our science chairperson. Quote, "It is not possible for me to fully articulate what a dynamic, engaging, and singularly gifted teacher Ms. Allison Wadowski is. To know this for yourself, you would need to see her, be in her presence, in her classroom with her students." Congratulations, Allison, and congratulations to all 7 of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Holtzen. And last but not least, I'd like to welcome Dr. Gitz and the members of the South High School family to the podium. Thank you.
Hello again. It's good to be back. Thank you. Again, Mrs. Sassooni, Ms. Perez, Mr. Shi, Ms. Berkowitz, Mr. Tak, and Dr. Prendergast. It is my pleasure to recommend these three outstanding educators to receive tenure at Great Neck South High School and, of course, in the Great Neck Public Schools. I'd like to begin by introducing Tamara Fernandez. Tamara has been working at South High as a teacher of special education. She's sort of become a jack of all trades, resource room, social studies, math, English, whatever we need. She's always willing to step up and accept the challenge. She's worked to support a classroom climate that enhances teaching and learning. She often provides her students with learning activities that prepares them for life after high school. She focuses on personal economics and finance, such as budgeting and personal credit, which we all can use a little bit education on. She's been involved in activities outside of the classroom as well. She's advised a variety of clubs, is our PSAT coordinator, and during the COVID pandemic, organized a food drive for healthcare workers at Northwell Health with Dr. Kasiri, who was a then parent at Great Neck South High School. I look forward to Tamara's continued growth, and she is an asset to South High. Congratulations, Tamara. Ryan Fox. Ryan is a teacher of mathematics at South High. He's had the opportunity to teach a wide variety of courses and is most grateful for that opportunity. He believes this opportunity has helped him develop a greater understanding of the importance of deepening his students' exploration of mathematics. He has enjoyed collaborating with his colleagues in the math department and is thankful for all he has gained from his work with them. Additionally, his work with the gaming club has provided an outlet for our students to decompress from the rigors of high school. I'm sure I'll be attending some of those gaming club meetings in the future. I congratulate Ryan. Congratulations, Ryan. Jennifer Koo. Jennifer is a social studies teacher at South High. She's primarily taught global studies, economics, and AP psychology. Ms. Koo knows no bounds when preparing her lessons. She's invited a variety of distinguished guests into her class to help her achieve her learning goals. Yes, the principal is one of those distinguished guests, as well as her son, who participates in her yearly Piaget experiment and is more than willing to join us at South High. And after his last visit last week, told Jennifer he's ready for high school. I have the good fortune of greeting Ms. Koo every day as she enters the building. She's always well prepared, rushing in with her breakfast in tow and informing me that her husband has sent her off to work with avocado toast or overnight oats. Is your husband here? I like my avocado toast with hot sauce and everything bagel seasoning. Thank you. Jennifer is a passionate educator. I commend her for her presentation during the Great Neck Chinese Association and UPTC AAPI event. She's grown our esports club, making it the most enthusiastic event during our Rebel Olympics. It was quite the raucous scene. I'm confident Jennifer will continue to make South High a better place. Congratulations, Jennifer. I congratulate all of the teachers receiving this tenure this evening, and we're looking forward to many years of working with them. Congratulations, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our administrators and our teachers that were being recognized this evening. Members of the Board of Education, based on what you have heard this evening and upon review of the tenure recommendations that were shared with you, it is without reservation that I recommend these teachers and administrators to you this evening for tenure. Please join us in celebrating the accomplishments of our teachers and congratulating them on their appointment, hopefully for tenure this evening. Thank you very much.
So Dr. Prendergast, we are about to vote on your recommendation. And so I'll ask for a motion on item 4A. Is there a motion on item 4A, the tenure of these candidates?
So moved.
Is there a second? And as for board discussion, I would just like to say a few words, and I'm sure that others would like to echo some thoughts as well. It means a lot to receive tenure in the Great Neck Public Schools. I'm sure I don't have to tell the candidates that. I just want to commend you on reaching this milestone in your careers. Mr. Hopkins, who we met in a Zoom during the pandemic, and also the teachers who were also hired during a pandemic and who have now been with us during this time period and are reaching this milestone. And I would also like to just say, hearing about you, reading about you, and seeing the great care that is taken in recommending you for tenure is really not just about this result of you receiving tenure, which is a celebration for you and your families, and we're very happy to celebrate it, but it's also about a process, and that process of professional growth and development is very important to this board, has been for many years, and I'm sure will continue to be for many years to come. We're interested in your continual growth and how that is going to grow you as professionals and help all of our students, and we're so excited for you. So congratulations. Is there anyone else?
Congratulations to all of you, and I hope that you will all enjoy your time here in Great Neck as a teacher and an administrator, as I did, because I completed 28 years of teaching first grade at Lakeville before I came on the board. So I'm wishing you the same joy in your jobs that I had. Congratulations to all of you.
Mrs. Berkowitz.
We've often spoken about the importance of getting tenure, because it's not merely a piece of paper in this district, it's a true acknowledgement of all that you've contributed already, but it's also looking toward the future, because now you are officially a part of this Great Neck family. And we look forward to continued growth from all of you and enjoyment, and as Mrs. Perez said, may you all find that same joy in your profession as she has and as so many have found before you. We wish you well. Granting of tenure is a very big deal here in Great Neck, and you've all earned it. We've seen it, we've read it, we've heard about it, and now we congratulate all of you again.
So the motion was already made. I am going to ask now for a vote. All in favor of tenuring our fine tenured candidates?
Aye.
Aye.
And that vote is unanimous. Congratulations to all of you. There are some refreshments to celebrate your achievements and this milestone, but before you avail yourselves of those, can the tenure candidates please come to the front to take a photo? And your families can go ahead to the refreshments and they'll see you shortly. The refreshments are in the cafeteria outside. The board meeting will resume shortly. Our tenure candidates, we are back, and we are up to item 5A, the approval of the minutes from the May 3rd, May 15th, 16th, 18th, 23rd, and 24th, and 26th meetings of the board, because we hardly ever see each other. Is there a motion in favor of accepting those minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0. The next item on the agenda is 6A, acceptance of communications received since our last meeting in person. There was, since our last public action meeting, there have been 2 communications received by the board. One was by a parent regarding the music program, and another from a news organization asking about a student personnel matter, student and personnel matter. Is there a motion to accept those communications?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That carries 4-0. The next item on the agenda is item 7A, Dr. Prendergast's report.
Thank you very much. I do have a few items to share with the community. I'm pleased to note that last week, all 4 of our secondary schools were recognized as no place for hate schools by the Anti-Defamation League. Last Thursday, representatives from our schools attended the 2023 No Place for Hate banner ceremony in Manhattan. In athletics, we've had several recognitions that I'd like to note. The Great Neck District girls golf team has won their 3rd consecutive Long Island championship and the 4th consecutive Nassau County championship. Congratulations go to Coach Corrigan and the district golf team. I also want to acknowledge and congratulate the South High School girls badminton team, which won the 2023 Nassau County Championship, the singles title, and the doubles title. And this is the 3rd consecutive Nassau County Championship for the team, and we wish them all the best of luck as they head to the Long Island Team Championships tomorrow. We had several outstanding performances in track and field at the Nassau County Championships. Our South High School boys tennis team pulled out an amazing victory at the County Tennis Championships last weekend, and South High is the only school to advance both a singles player and a doubles team onto the state levels. Congratulations to Coach Dugan, and good luck to all of the athletes. They'll be playing the state tournament this Friday at the U.S. Tennis Association Billie Jean King Center. The Aid to Our Troops Club at North High School hosted its 2nd annual Memorial Day event last week to recognize the servicemen and women from the Great Neck School community. I was in hand at this event along with North High administrators, students and staff, several elected officials, local firefighters, and other community leaders. I do want to recognize the students involved in the club, along with their faculty advisor, Mr. Caesar, for their wonderful work in celebrating our local veterans and supporting servicemen and women around the world. This month, we had 7 talented musicians from Great Neck perform at Lincoln Center. We had 3 student ambassadors from North High School attend the Governor's Youth Forum on Mental Health last month. Our students participated in student-based presentations, breakout sessions, and discussions regarding mental health issues affecting young adults. And I know that many people in our community may have been watching, and I do want to take this opportunity to acknowledge and congratulate North Middle School's spectacular speller, 6th grader Brian Liu. Brian competed at the Scripps Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. yesterday and today. It was very exciting to watch Brian compete in the semifinals. It was broadcast via live stream. Many of the students at North Middle participated in a viewing party to cheer him on. And Brian successfully completed 5 rounds of spelling and vocabulary definitions. And we're very excited about his accomplishments reaching that level. And finally, I do want to thank the entire school community for their overwhelming support of the 2023-24 school budget. The types of accomplishments that I'm honored to share during my reports each month are the direct result of our outstanding academic and co-curricular programs, and it's the community's support of our budget that ensures that these programs will continue into the future. Thank you very much. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Prendergast. The next items on the agenda are items 8A through D, donations, and 1 rescission of a donation. Is there a motion in favor of items 8A through D? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is 8E, which is an amended election result. I've asked the district clerk, Ms. McShane, to just explain what that means before we vote on it, please.
The reasons for the amended results are as follows. Number one, affidavit ballots need to be reviewed by the Board of Elections the day after the election to determine if the vote is counted or not counted. And second, after a thorough review of the preliminary results, an error on the tabulation spreadsheet was discovered. One of South High's machine count totals for the yes school budget vote was entered wrong. The number 272 was entered in error. The correct machine count is 213, which is reflected on the amended results tonight.
Thank you, Ms. McShane. Is there a motion in favor of item 8E, the amended election results as described?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
For board discussion, I would just like to thank Ms. McShane for the precision with which she ran the entire election, including the precision of that result that she just described, and to just commend her through this first year with us through this election process. Thank you, Ms. McShane. All in favor of item 8E?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0. The next item on the agenda is item 8F. Is there a motion in favor?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That also carries 4-0. The next item on the agenda is 8G. The CBA, the Collective Bargaining Agreement and Memorandum of Understanding with the Great Neck Teachers Association. Is there a motion in favor?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
For discussion?
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you to all of the teams in negotiation and working well together. And for the first time, as long as anybody can remember, there is a new contract before the old one has expired. Congratulations to all.
Well deserved.
I would also like to acknowledge at this time very specifically the members of the GNTA leadership who worked in that bargaining, as well as the law firm of Ingram & Smith, who are new to Great Neck at bargaining and who I think helped get us to that result with ease in advance, as was just expressed by Donna, by Mrs. Perez, specifically Neil Block and Sophia Terrasi, and also our new business official, who's not so new anymore because you've been through a budget cycle, Mr. O'Keefe and Brian Ernst, and of course Dr. Prendergast and members of Central Office who were instrumental at negotiations, and Jennifer Kirby, who through HR has been through many iterations of negotiations and has been apprising the board of how well these negotiations went. So we had a good process, and now we're at the point of having a good result.
We have to vote.
Is there a motion in favor of, I think I already asked for the motion, so I think I'm now going to ask for the vote on item 8G. All in favor of item 8G?
Aye.
4-0, unanimous. Yay. Okie dokie. The next items on the agenda are matters of policy. And for those, we turn to the chair of the policy committee, Mrs. Perez, and her co-chair, Mr. Shi.
Thank you, Mrs. Sassouni, and I would like to take this time for just a minute to say thank you to to Dr. Prendergast and to Mr. Shi for serving on the policy committee, for you for 8 years and you for 2. Because this is probably the last time in public I will have the opportunity to say thank you for the hard work and time you have put in and all of your recommendations, which were so important to our discussion. Thank you very much. Policy 7100 is a new policy that called Facilities Planning. This is being offered for a second reading, and it is to replace, in conjunction with proposed policy 8110, School Building Safety, current policy 8100, Comprehensive School Safety Program. It incorporates and expands upon elements of that policy, including descriptions of the district's existing and ongoing utilization of a comprehensive maintenance plan, building condition surveys, and the fire safety inspections. Additional information has been added that describes the district's existing and ongoing implementation of a safety fire rating system. There have been no changes since the first reading on May 3rd, 2023, and this is being submitted for a second reading. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Policy 8100 for deletion, Comprehensive School Safety Program, second reading, and the policy was first adopted in 2000 to address the district's compliance with the New York State Rebuilding Schools to Uphold Education, otherwise known as RESCUE, legislation. It is proposed to be replaced with a new policy 7100, Facilities Planning, and policy 8110, School Building Safety. There have been no changes since its first reading on May 3rd, and deletion of this policy is being submitted for a second reading. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion or questions? There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Policy 8110, School Building Safety for a second reading. This policy is proposed to replace, in conjunction with a new proposed policy 7100, Facilities Planning, existing policy 8100, Comprehensive School Safety Program. It incorporates and expands upon the reference in that policy to use district's existing Health and Safety Committee and the responsibility of the superintendent of schools to investigate and resolve complaints about school building conditions. There being no changes since its first reading on May 3rd, this is being submitted for a second reading. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. The rest of the policies are being presented for a third reading. They are 6212, 6241, 6020, and 62, no, I got that. There have been no changes. There being so, this is a third reading. Do I hear a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. And again, thank you, Dr. Prendergast and Mr. Shi, for all your hard work.
Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, Mrs. Perez. Thanks, Mr. Shi. The next item on the agenda is item 9. So I'd like to just go on consent. Is there a motion in favor of items 9A through Z?
So moved.
All in favor? I'm sorry, is there a second? I should have said
Second.
that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That carries. Then we're up to number 10. Where's AA? Is that what we got earlier today?
You only did through Z.
It was not handed to me, I'm sorry. 9AA, very good. I didn't get this, I'm sorry. May I have a motion in favor of item 9AA?
So
The termination of a contract for general construction. Does
So
everybody have
moved.
that? A second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That carries. Now we're up to 10 and 11, 12, and 13. Is there a motion in favor of items 10, 11, 12, and 13?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. We are now up to open time. Is there anyone who would like to address the board at this time? Okie dokie. Well, that's all right. We are now up to, although I would like to just say, to acknowledge, before we go to board discussion, we have 3, I think, or several student delegates who are still here, and I just want to commend our student delegates for staying with us through the evening. And if you should ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, whether now or any other time, we are always interested in them. And next, we'll move on to, board discussion. So this has been an eventful meeting.
Has been. Contract, tenure. Other stuff, I'm sure. It was a big few weeks.
It's been a busy time, as we could see from the minutes that we accepted. The board has met quite a number of times. The election itself took until the 17th. We were together till almost 4 o'clock in the morning. We continued meeting and have met several times, including on the superintendent search. So by way of continuing to update the community, we are still proceeding with the selection process and the search process for our next superintendent of schools, and when we have more information, we will be sharing it with the community. And in the meantime, it's been a very eventful meeting. Thank you to Dr. Prendergast. Commendations to all of our newly tenured employees, and congratulations to the members of the GNTA on a wonderfully negotiated contract and hopefully a new day in Great Neck. Anything else? Okay. Well, I would be very happy to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. Good night.